Okay.
Say cheese. Okay, now a word for the sponsors. Say thank you.
Thank you. Just stay still for a little bit. There's quite a few pictures.
The students start the day by checking in at the main hall. There they get their t-shirt, safety glasses, and earplugs, and are instructed to join their group out by the fence. The Fur Bearers of America, assisted by DCL Taxidermy, present all the aspects of fur trapping. Here they give the students an opportunity for hands-on experience of different types of furs. We see them in this picture handling a skunk fur, feeling the texture of it. This year, trapping myths were discussed, the first myth being trapping cuts off animals' foot. The presenters pointed out that laws ban the use of traps with teeth. They only use types that grab the animal and holds them until the trapper arrives. Myth number 2. Trapping is cruel to animals. Great care is taken to ensure that once the animal is trapped, it cannot harm itself in any way. The animals do not suffer. Myth number 3. Trapping doesn't help control diseases. If the animals were to overpopulate, diseases would spread more easily. Myth number 4. Trapping is outdated and irresponsible. Trapping has been used for many centuries for food, for families, and for clothing. Taxidermy allows trappers to preserve nature's scenes. The furs are mounted on styrofoam forms. Traps are set in a manner that prevents the animal from hurting or hanging themselves. Myth number 5. Trapping takes parents from their young. Hunting and trapping seasons are set at a time when the young have grown up and moved out of their burrows and nests. Myth number 6. Trapping leads to extinction. Laws regulating how many can be trapped prevents any overkill. Not trapping leads to overpopulation and starvation, or even roadkill and accidents. Myth number 7. Trapping is murder. This myth ascribes human emotions to animals. Animals live by instincts and not feelings. The difference in nutrition in captivity is compared to a fur caught in the wild. Students get hands-on training on how to safely set traps. This picture was taken at last year's event of the same setting. The different types of furs are displayed for the students. The laws are explained as to what can or cannot be trapped. Furs can have different colors, depending on what season or environment they come from. Different styles of traps are demonstrated, where the students can get up close and watch the demonstrations. Different types of bait are also used in these traps. Marshmallows make a great tasty temptation for animals. Some traps are spring-loaded and anchored to the ground. Some traps use stink bait to draw in animals.
I just like bait.
Well,
It smells like onion, garlic.
No, it smells good after to eat.
I smell it.
It smells like rotten onions. I love rotten Don't make a face, Hannah. We'll win.
Oh, the stench is still there.
Hannah, smell it.
okay, I'm going to go over the safety rules for everybody, so please pay attention. First of all, always keep the rifle safely pointed down range. It will stay on the tables and be that direction. Always keep it that direction. Additionally with that, always treat it as if it's loaded. So even if you know it's empty, it still needs to be in that condition downrange safely. When you come up to the firearm and get settled, always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. So get your sights aligned, get everything ready before you put your finger on the trigger to squeeze it. Keep it out of that area. Also, you all should have eye and ear protection. So we need to have that on all the time, even if you're not shooting while you're back here. So the earplugs, unless you have them in, if you roll them up in your fingers, it'll kind of press the foam and then shove it in, and it'll expand in the ear canal. Does everybody have any questions on that? That makes sense. So we will stay behind the orange tape and off the concrete until you're told to move forward, and we'll cycle through everybody. We'll get 10 shots apiece if you want. John is going to go over how the sights work and what you're going to be looking at to try to hit your target.
Okay. In order to hit the target, you do have to line your sights up correctly. You have a rear sight and a front sight. So the rear sight is like this big U. So everybody see that? So we'll focus on that. Then we have a front sight. Front sight's going to be like a post. And you want to put them together. And you want to make it look like this. You want the top of the post to be level with the top of the U. Okay? And then where do you put the target? You put the target right on top of that. So your target, this is white, your target will be red. Are there any questions about that?
Did you see that, Hud? Did you see how the sights work?
Okay. Again, you have a U-shaped rear sight.
That's right here.
This one right there. You have a post. That's the front one. And you want to line them up so they look like this. And then you want to put the target right on top of that post.
Okay.
If you do that, you're going to make all those targets swing out there. All right?
Any questions?
Okay, well, we'll bring you up. We'll sign you 4 at a time. I'll do that. And then as you're done shooting, you can come back here, but keep your screen protection in. So we're ready to go. Line's live. You need a shooter, or she's going to shoot another clip? She's got an mag.
Down.
10 rounds.
Safety on right. Get set up.
There you got it. Good shot.
You ready? You're on.
Keep doing that.
You need to put some glasses on, so you're going to be over there.
A little bit.
I'll get on your other side.
Which one you shooting at, Hud?
I shot the second one. I hit it.
Okay. Tennis ball?
Yeah.
Okay. If you shoot that tennis ball one more time, if you look for
Yeah, I hit that.
what's that? There it is. Well, we got to get some more here. Go ahead and open it. Hold it right there for me, would you?
Find the red metal target right here so you can see it.
I already have. I hit the ball.
Oh, you hit it. You see it? You hit it. Good job.
All right, hon, there you go.
You ready to try again?
Safety's on. Remember?
Okay.
I'm going to try for the top one.
Okay.
Now it's ready to fire.
And look down with your eye.
Aim at the bottom of it. Oh, wow.
High.
Is it a golf ball?
Pull it up.
Oh, okay. I was just about to hit the golf ball, too.
Alright.
You ready?
You want to try for the...
Yeah, if you're shooting at them red swingers, you got to aim right at the bottom of it.
I hit
Light it
the
up.
swing. There's my safety.
Bottom of that ball, like that. There you go. Take the safety off. You don't want to move your hand. Okay.
All lines.
Yeah, for some reason this mag's been doing this. I don't know why.
You ready? You line it up and shoot wherever you want, okay?
Yep, that's high.
I like the gun. I'm not crazy about the magazine setup on this.
So much of these guns cost?
I have no clue.
Crouching. Scooch back a little bit.
Press this and hold it till it's empty, or till it stops.
Are you going to maybe something or just pull it?
Just go ahead.
That was quick. How was it?
Oh, that was nice.
That's it.
That's it.
Hold the trigger to the tip. Doesn't kick much. Just get on your shoulder and go for it. Wow.
Did that hurt? Wow. That hurt, Mom? No, it just scared me.
And that's what we're going to talk to you about, but not just any old turkey. We're going to talk to you about wild turkeys. Okay? How many people have been wild turkey hunting before? Oh, nobody. Well, you're going to have to go sometime. Right now is getting towards the tail end of Iowa's spring turkey season. You can hunt 2 times a year. You can hunt in the spring, you can hunt in the fall. And actually the spring season is a really long season. You can start in April, and it's not over until next Sunday. Okay? And you guys can hunt them from almost the 1st of April all the way through to the middle of May. Okay? Because you guys can all get youth tags if you go out with your mom or your dad or grandparent or aunt or uncle or friend that has a tag. They can take you out and you can shoot a turkey. In youth season before, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Jeremy. Okay? I teach up here at the high school, and I'm also the president of the Wapello County Strutting Toms, which is Wapello County's chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation. Okay.
My name's Aaron. I'm a science teacher at Cardinal, and I'm on the board for the Turkey Federation and turkey hunts also.
So, like I was saying, you can go out even before Aaron and I can go out and shoot your birds. Just no adults out there, just kids out there shooting birds. And you can do that before we even get the chance. And then you can go, if you don't get your bird then, you can go clear through till next Sunday. This year. It's going to change a little bit. But next Sunday you can go. Okay? Here's what we've got. Right now, this is the mating season for turkeys. Okay? And that's what makes it a little bit easier to hunt them, because our target is an adult male turkey. Okay? What do we call adult male turkeys?
Tom.
Call them toms. Okay? What do we call like teenage male turkeys?
Jerry.
What did you say?
Jerry.
We call them jakes. Okay? So there's like 1-year-old teenagers, we call them jakes. They're a little squirrely, kind of like most teenagers are a little squirrely. Okay? And then we got the adult birds, then we call toms. There's not really a whole lot of difference between them. One difference that you'll see, this is a unique pose for a wild turkey. Okay? That's what they call a turkey that's in strut. Basically, all that amounts to is if you pick this bird right here, that's how they kind of look when they're not in strut. That's how they look when they want to show off. Okay? They get all big and puffy, and you'll even hear them if they're really close. I had one this morning. I heard him. He got all puffed up, and all these tail feathers go into a thing they call a fan. So they fan out like this. He takes his wings, instead of having them tucked back in tight to him right here, he displays his wings. He spreads them all the way out. This is actually the tip of a wing. So this is this little part of a turkey wing right there. Okay. His head will turn different colors. You see how he's got this white and red and blue? Okay. True American bird, red, white, and blue, displaying his colors. Okay. His feet, just like any other bird, he's got 3 toes. He's got one little one here on the back. Then he's got these little squirrely things here in the back. Anybody know what those are? What do we call those? Pheasants have them too. You know what you call those? What do cowboys wear in the back of their boots?
Spurs.
Spurs. That's what that is right there. That's a turkey spur. Okay? Male turkeys have those. This is a younger one. This spur is an older one. Kind of like walking around with a little pencil and walking around with a great big pencil. Or in a turkey world, a little knife versus a big knife. Okay? Now what we're trying to do to get these guys to come to us, or what an adult will do to get them to come into you, is they're going to try and sound like a girl turkey or a hen. Okay? Especially this time of year, since it's the mating season, the toms want to meet up with the hens. So we're going to try and sound like girl turkeys to try and get these boy turkeys to come towards us. But the problem is this: they don't want to do that because it's supposed to be the other way around. Okay? They're supposed to sit there, and what sound do male turkeys make? What's the big sound we always think about turkeys making? A gobble gobble, right? Okay. You make a gobble gobble sound. Okay? So okay. That's what an adult turkey will sound like. Now Jake, he'll be more like this. Okay? Like I said, he's a teenager. He doesn't quite know how to belt it out yet, so he's like, sounds all broken up. But that Tom, he knows what to do. He's going to be really deep. He's going to be real throaty. He's going to be like, that's what he's going to do. He's going to do it really early in the morning, and those hens are like, oh, okay, you're over there. I'm coming. Just give me a little bit. I'll come your way. Okay? Right now, it's getting later in the season that all the hen turkeys are doing this. Okay? They're laying eggs. They're nesting right now. But turkey's a big bird. Now, they might sleep in trees, but they don't nest in them. Turkeys are actually going to nest on the ground, so they'll go into some things like this right here, okay, or into a CRP field or a really brushy fence line, and they'll make a nest, and they might lay 12 to 16 eggs in that nest. And hopefully all of them hatch. But what do you think you would face as a danger in life if you were born as an egg? If you were an egg and your mom had to sit on you for 20-some days, what might happen to you? It's all right. You might get cracked and broken, okay? You might not be warm enough long enough, so you won't hatch. What's probably more likely to happen to you? Maybe not by a hawk yet. You're going to have to worry about a hawk after you hatched. But before you're hatched, do you guys like to eat eggs? Yeah. Guess what? Everything on this board, with the exception of these guys, they like to eat eggs too, and they will. Because how easy of a meal is it? It is easy. You go find it, chomp, 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 because the hen's going to fly away, because she doesn't want to die too, and the eggs are going to get eaten. Okay? Should they make it, hopefully they will, then they'll hatch like this. Okay? Little chicks, little turkey poults. Now whose menu are you on? Coyotes, hawks, owls, and you know what? Still, everything else over here if they can get you. Okay? You guys like to eat turkey, right? So does just about everything out in the woods is going to eat meat. They will eat turkey without a doubt. And even when they get bigger, what's a unique animal we have around here that's come back quite a bit lately? It doesn't go meow. A little bit deeper than that.
Bobcat.
Bobcats.
Mountain lion.
Coyotes will get them. Dogs can sometimes get them. Okay. All sorts of things are on the menu if you're a turkey. You're like, oh man, this could eat me, and that could eat me, and that could eat me. So what do you think they have going for them? How would they protect themselves? You're a bird, right? A bird doesn't have a lot of protection. They might use this. This is kind of a last resort, though. What are they going to use? How do you know if something's coming after you? Maybe they might try and beat you down with their wing a little bit, but again, that's getting pretty close. I'd rather not like get this close for you if I can do something else. What else could I do? They're still close. I want to keep you guys from getting close to me, so what am I going to do? I'm going to keep my eyes out for you. Anything is moving, I'm going to focus on it right away, because in order for something to eat me, it's got to move first. Okay? I'm not scared of the tree. I'm scared of something that might be moving behind the tree. So my eyes are going to be really good. Okay? What else has got to be really good?
Well, it's dark out.
What is dark? It's cloudy, or rainy, and eyes, things are moving around a lot. Then what do you use? How do I know they just moved over here? My eyes are closed. I don't have night vision. I'm going to go across the bridge. Now remember, the woods out here are full of turkeys. Keep your eyes open. Okay? And we got a bridge to cross, which is fun. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go across about 5 or so. Once those 5 get to the middle, another 5 can come across, okay? Hold on to the sides because the bridge will go up and down and side to side, okay? All right, let's go.
I love camping. Every year when I go camping.
Snippers over there. They weren't talking. I'm like, no, they got to be around. It's still dark enough for me to move, but I can still see. Okay, so I didn't hear anything. So what I did. What makes that sound? Good guess. It is a bird.
Now.
Barred owl. There's another one. So you get in kind of close and it's tight. That call works really good because you can't like overblow them. I could probably really wake a turkey up if I did this. I don't want to do it. Basically, he's not responding to this for any other reason than he's saying, hey, shut up over there. It's my turn. Okay? You need to be quiet. I'm the big bird around here. You listen to me. So. Now, that doesn't always work. I usually use that one early in the morning. Okay? But there's another one you can use later in the day. What's that? What sound is that?
I heard it today. I've heard it today in here.
What makes that sound? Hawks actually will fight with these things. Hawks and these guys don't get along too well. Blackbird.
Ugly.
Black beak. Black
I
feet.
know what it is, but
Crow. I heard it over
There we
here.
go. Yep, that's a crow. Okay. Turkeys don't like necessarily that either. They'll set them off. Sometimes hearing the geese honk will set them off. I've hunted turkeys before close enough to the train tracks where when the train whistle went off, those birds gobbled. I'm like, I don't care what's making you gobble. I just want to know where you're at. And I know where you're at because the train was honking. Okay. And I shot a bird that way because I figured out where he was at and I could go set up on him. But I owl hooted. Okay, I know where they're at, so I start moving. Where's the block? Let them know, okay, there's a bird over there. And you might change how you do it at different times of the year. Okay, so early on in the season, when I got set up, I pulled out this kind of call. Now, this is what they call a slate call, or a peg and slate. Some people call it a pot call. Okay, they make different kinds. So, like Aaron's got one here. His looks way different than mine. Mine's a little bigger, but his is made out of a little different material. I have two others that are all a little different. That all give you a little different sound. And depending on what striker you use, this one's a little different here. Okay, see that one's got a solid bottom. That one is a carbon one. You get different sounds from these, so that makes you actually sound like a different bird. Okay, because each one of you guys have a unique voice. So will a turkey. So when I get down there, remember it's still pretty dark. The turkeys are just kind of waking up, so I might just do something real soft, like, you know when you're waking up and you're not talking real loud, just, gosh, I don't want to get up, it's so early. Okay. Now you might not think that you could hear that, but I can tell you this, if there was a bird 7,500 yards that way, you would hear it. So I don't want to be real loud. I just want to let them know, oh, okay, there's some hens over there. I'm going to keep talking to them. Okay? And if they don't come, at least I know where they're at and I can go that way. Now, as it starts getting a little bit lighter, you might hear other birds around you. It might just be you. That turkey might be gobbling, but now I'm getting ready to say, okay, I'm getting ready to fly down here. I'm kind of getting excited. I want to get out of the tree. It's time to finally get up and do something with the day. So I'll get a little more excited in the tree. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, that's when you'll hear their big wings go. You'll hear them fly down. So they got big wings, and then when you hit the ground, you'll hear them hit the ground too. It'll be. Okay. Now once they hit the ground, they kind of change a little bit. They'll do what they call a yelp. Change it up a little bit. When they're excited, it'll be kind of faster. If they're lonely, it'll be. longer. Sometimes they just want to know people are around. It's a pluck. They'll mix it together. If they're nice and content, they'll be like, it's called a purr.
Why is it called a purr, you think?
Different spots on this call I hit, things sound a little different. If they're getting mad, did you just hear that? No, that wasn't. There was a tom. There was an actual bird up there. I just heard him. Let's see if we can get him to call back. Did you hear it? There's a turkey up there. Let's go this way. You guys might miss out on seeing him, but maybe next group will see him.
Pretty good one.
With this call, I can make tom calls on one side, and I can make 10 calls on the other. So we talked about them sounding a little different. Listen to this yelp difference here. See how this one was a little bit coarser, a little bit deeper? Okay. That's a jake or a tom, and they'll do that sometimes. So what I want to do, something like that, get the yelp, get the little cluck going, get a little whine. Okay, if I get mad, okay, I can do that. Now sometimes this takes two hands to do. The other call I had, and that Aaron had, he's got one that doesn't take two hands.
Anybody know what I have in my mouth?
And what he's got in his mouth looks like this. It's called a diaphragm call. Okay? This little piece goes up in the roof of your mouth. Okay? You can do a lot of different things with the sound.
If you do want to try these, I was going to show you a beginner one. This was the first one I had. It has a little plastic ring on top. It kind of helps you with starting, because these take a lot of practice. I'm not very good at them yet either, with some of them. And same thing, Jeremy, you can tell, is a lot better than me because he's been hunting turkeys a lot longer than me. But this is a beginner one. So if you do want to try these, I suggest trying to get these, and you can cut them to different sizes to fit your mouth. Okay?
And they're hard to get used to. It took me about 2 years before I could make what I thought was a decent sound out of one. And that was with one of the simplest ones I could get. It was a single reed. You kind of got to cut it to fit in your mouth. You got to get comfortable with it in your mouth. I could pretty much go all day long with one of those in my mouth. I just set it in there, and I walk through the woods with it. I huff it up and down the hills with it. I just leave it in there because for me, I don't need my hands. I can do a lot of different things with it. I can pass my call one way. I can make it go the other way. So I can make that bird wonder, I thought she was over here, and now she's over there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to steer him to walk right in front of me. Okay? I can muffle it like this. I can keep my mouth closed and muffle it. I can really reach out there and project it like I'm really excited, and then turn my head like I'm running away from him. Okay? I want to play on him and get him to come towards me. Okay? Keep going up the hill. It doesn't look like a complete half circle. It's got like it's a little bit taller in the middle. No. That's a decoy we stuck out there. That is the fin of a jake. That's like a teenage turkey. Okay? And they'll have tail feathers taller in the middle than they will on the sides. Now, give that turkey about another year to grow, and it'll look like a circle.
Is that the one that was
No, that was a real one.
Why would you use a Jake fan as a decoy? Why would you use kind of a smaller male fan? Has anybody ever heard of rattling in deer?
Like the big antlers together,
Like
like
when
when
you're
a deer fight.
Okay, when you rattle in a deer, you don't want to use the giant set of horns, because is any deer going to want to fight him with a giant set of horns? No, just like if we grab the biggest fan possible and put out here, would a small tom want to come in and fight him? Probably not. Same type of deal as deer hunting. But
I've had my father-in-law with me one time when we saw a turkey out in the field. I said, hey, I'm going to crawl up next to this cedar tree. You take this Jake decoy and stick it up so he sees it. That bird was 150 yards out when he saw it. Before I got crawled to the tree, he had closed half the distance because he saw that Jake sticking up there. He started to haul tail towards my father-in-law, and I shot him at 20 yards. Otherwise, 20 yards behind me was my father-in-law, so he's going to run him over and try and take him out. So you can kind of play on them a little bit. If you know how they operate and you know their behavior, you can play on their behavior.
actually hunting this morning, so the usual camouflage, right? Usually kind of green or camouflage. You don't really want brown because turkey season, you can see it's pretty green out here. He's got his camo hat. He has a face mask or a net. If you don't have one of those, I usually put some paint on my nose because I'm not the tannest guy in the world, so my nose kind of sticks out when I have that. But that way he can't see your face. So the only thing there is his eyes. He's even got camo gloves on because you'd be surprised when you pull up your gun and then again, you can see how tan I am when I pull up my gun. Is that turkey going to see that? Probably going to see my hand. For his rear end, because he just sits against a tree, he's going to bring a pad. That's also nice if the ground's wet. I got downpoured on the other day, so all the way down the boots. And then he's got kind of a vest that he just carries all his stuff in. He can stuff decoys in the back. Maybe even a bird if you kill a bird. I don't know.
Yeah, they're blood.
And all his calls and things like that. And he knows right where everything is. That way, when a bird's coming in, why would he want to know right where each call is and where everything's at?
I want to get to it fast, and what don't I want to do? As little what as possible. I definitely don't want to scare away. Remember why they're going to get scared? Because they're going to do what? They're going to see movement. So I can tell you right now, just by feel, my crow call is here. I know my owl call is here. I know I got a gobbler call here. I know my box call is right here. I got one slate call here with a certain striker. I got another slate call over here with a certain striker. I know where my shells are at. I know where my snippers are at. This time of year, it's real good to know where my thermosil's at, so I can put it out in case it gets all nasty. But what I'd like to do, like when I'm out hunting, this type of woods right now, this is thick. This is really thick. And birds don't like to wander through that thick stuff any more than you want to walk through it. Okay? So what they're liable to do is they're liable to take the trail just like we're doing. So let's say I hear a bird coming around the corner, and I hear him gobbling. Not always do you do that. So I'll look around and I'll say, where can I set up? Well, there's a nice big tree. I want a tree wider than I am because a lot of people don't think, and they shoot at movement and they shoot at sound. And those are the two worst things you can do is shoot at movement and shoot at sound. Okay? So I want to find a tree wider than I am. Well, there's one right there. That could be pretty good, but look at how socked in brush that is. So if I look back here, okay, that one's pretty good, but that's socked in brush. I'm looking all the way back there. And I see a tree back there. It looks like it's got a spot I can get in. So what I'm going to do, if I hear one coming around the corner, I'm going to keep it back in here. Right up against the tree. Wiggle down in here. Get my gun. Get it right up here like this. Most likely what I'm going to have in, diaphragm call. So I'll be able to sit here with my gun up. And wait until he pops his head around the corner. And when he pops his head around the corner and gets within range, and I know what's a call, and I've confirmed that that is definitely a bird and I'm safe to shoot behind it, I'm going to pull trigger and take that bird home with me, hopefully. Okay. Some people like to shoot out of a blind, especially archery guys, because you've got a lot of movement to do. I mean, for me to be in behind that gun, I can have that gun up, I can have safety off and point down this way. The only thing I got to do is move this finger. Archery guys, man, they got to get that bow out, they got to pull back, they've got to hold, they've got a lot more to do. So they might use a blind like Aaron's got up here. You guys want to kind of just see the setup of this blind. I've attempted some archery. I have not been successful archery-wise. I've only been successful shotgun, but that's because of it does take a lot to get the bow pulled on a turkey. But I use this blind for a few reasons. First reason is it folds into a complete backpack, so I can fold it back, and then the chairs just collapse up, and I put it right on my back, and I carry it through the timber like a backpack. So I can carry it wherever I want. I usually walk a long ways in to turkey hunt because you don't want to drive in to spook them, obviously. And then it's got chairs on the inside. It'd be ideal if you were taking maybe a youth hunter. I had it pretty easy when I was a youth hunter. My dad he called and I got to kill the turkey. So if you have that advantage, that's great. So I also like it because all I have to do is sit down. I usually have my gun and I usually set all my stuff right here, and then I just pull it right over me, and I'm ready to go. And I'm hunting this way if it rains. The other day I got rained on 2 or 3 different times, and I didn't get wet at all because I was in a blind. I'm off the ground. A lot of good things to a blind. The disadvantage, what would a problem be with maybe hunting out of a blind compared to sitting against a tree? Okay, I'm limited because when I'm sitting in here, my gun actually sticks out of the blind, so I'm pretty much limited. I have to shoot out of here. Good one. Yep. I can open it up a little bigger, but then I kind of give away some of my concealment. What about my vision? I can't see all the way around me. Even if I have every window open, I can only see, and I usually like to open both the sides and my back because just the other day I had a hen come out and I was sitting in my blind and the hen probably came out about this distance from me, about 15 feet from me. So I had no idea she was there because I couldn't see her, and she was just being quiet. She was just making little clucks, and I couldn't hear her very well because I don't have good enough hearing as turkeys do. With the way I have this set up right now, and Jeremy set these decoys up. He's probably a little better shot than me, but I would actually probably have my decoys even closer. Why would I want my decoys? Well, what do you think, Jerry? About 15, 20 yards? For bow? Yeah. Yeah, for bow, I would want my decoys about right where this one is. Okay, why is that? What do the decoys bring in? Okay. So if I set my decoys out at 100 yards, I'm never going to kill a turkey because they're going to go to those decoys and stop. So I usually put a couple decoys out. Is that a tom or a hen? Tom. And is it full grown or is it a, remember the teenage? Nice. Jake. And then we got a hen here. Alright, so that's kind of how I hunt out of a blind. I usually put it on the edge of a timber. I don't like to go right in the middle of a timber because just like Jeremy said, the turkeys don't really want to walk through this stuff. Actually, I've had quite a few hens this week that they walk right to the edge of the timber. They're kind of lazy and take paths just like us, right? So, any questions?
Is that so they can get airborne too if they need to, or?
Oh yes. Turkeys fly for sure.
So they need the open space like a runway.
Yeah, that's true. They'll try to get up.
They're tough enough that beating through something like this isn't going to bother them.
Yeah, they try to get up through it. It sounds like a disaster, but they'll beat right through it if they have to. They usually make it out.
How to set up. You just gotta have the patience to wait enough until they're gonna be. Because they sound like they're far away, and you really want to get up and start moving and close the distance on them, but you're like, don't. They're coming. A lot of times they'll be with hens, and the hens will actually.
Let's make it good. Hey, dude.
Down here in front of you, like I am now. You're doing real good. I see the bows resting on your toes. That's awesome. Okay. The other rule that I neglected to say the last time till the last round. When we go get our arrows, we walk the whole time. I did say that. But when we pull our arrows out and we're coming back with them, you carry them with the points in one hand and the shafts in the other. This is how you carry them. You walk, you slide them right in the quiver. Okay, that's if you trip and fall. You don't poke yourself or anybody else. Okay?
That's better than
They're not real super sharp, buddy. If you did fall, it's better poke your hand than here, right? Right. Okay, well, we'll run over some safety steps with those. Who heard that little ping sound down here a little bit ago? You hear that? The young man didn't know any different. He did what they call dry fire. Pulled back the string, no arrow on there, he let it go. First and foremost thing, where that can go bad, is these bows don't do it as much, but I have seen it happen to them. When you do that, the bow can come apart. Okay? And if it comes apart, their piece is going to go somewhere. With that. Sure. Sure. Any piece comes off here, it could be potentially dangerous. So, nobody, you do not let that string go unless there's an arrow on it and you point it down here. Alright? Okay, so when we load our bow, when we put our arrow on, we're going to stand right next to our quiver. Okay? If you look, there's all different colored arrows in there. Right? But one thing that's the same, no matter which ones you look at, there's an odd color. Right. Yeah, so that'd be the red. Exactly. Yep. So when you load your bow, the odd color feather looks out away from the bow. The odd color looks away from it like this. Okay, you see that? Everybody see it? All right. It goes under your knot point. You see on the string there's a knot point, a little knot. Okay. Goes right underneath, and what I'd like to see you do, unless you've been shooting a long time and somebody's taught you different, I'm okay with that. But what we always teach is 3 fingers under. Slide them right up underneath, touch it. The reason you do that is unless you've practiced a lot with a finger over, what always happens, almost always happens, when you draw back, you start pinching it and it rolls out like that. Okay? Because when you pull back, that string's actually rolling in your fingers, and you'll sit there and just do this forever. Okay? 2 or 3 fingers underneath. We're going to draw right back to our cheek, put our hand on our cheek. Don't go clear back here. If you go clear back here, what can you do? No, you let go and the string gets you in the ear. Take your ear with you. Okay? Right here. This is all the way farther you want to go. Put your hand right on your cheek. 1, you don't take your ear with it. 2, you sight the arrow better down to the target. Okay? So we're going right to our cheek. When we're on our spot, we're just going to slowly release our fingers. Okay? Pull our hand straight back. And the arrow will head down that way. Any questions? Right. Yeah, and we will struggle with it. What we'd like to see you do is when you're standing there by your quiver, when
your quiver. Actually, the way it'll end up looking, you'll pull your arrow out of your quiver, pointing it down here at the target, go straight up over your bow, lay it on your rest, slide it down, put it on. Okay, that way you're not hoping with this way where you've got people standing beside you with your arrow. Pulling it out, up and over the bow. Okay? Questions? We will give you the command when it's time to shoot. When we say the course is clear, shoot 3 arrows. You shoot your 3 arrows, hand the bow to the person behind you, step to the back of the line. Okay? Once everybody's shot, once everybody's shot, the last person to shoot, lay their bow on the rack, come back to the line and wait. And we'll all walk down here, get our 3 arrows, pull them, and we'll keep rolling, okay? Any questions?
No.
Okay, we're going to get started then.
Once you boys back up, everybody that's not shooting back up a little bit from the person shooting.
Also, if you drop an arrow,
A little bit more color.
the arrow falls off the string or you drop it, don't reach out in front of you and get it. Just raise your hand. We got extras back there. Somebody will bring you an arrow, okay? Leave that thing on the ground until everybody's done shooting. We don't want anybody out in front of anybody when they're shooting.
You guys will want to on the side of your quiver.
Okay?
Unless you're lefty. Where's my lefty? You guys, maybe you're old enough, you'll figure it out. Wait until we say the course.
Yeah, 11.
11?
Got 11?
Good.
All right. Well, what we'd like to do, let's see. You're only lefty, so we're going to do this bow. If you would you step up to that first quiver? Okay, now the rest of you, if you're not lefty, you're all righties. We need you to pair off in groups of 2. And just please, however you want to pair off, we'd like to pair you up by size so we can fit the bows to you, so you can share the bow. But what we'd like to do is have 2 of you go by that first quiver and leave the arrows in there, but please go over and stand
I just
that
need
first
2.
one.
Have 2
and
come to this
more
one?
to the next one and so forth, just so it's not in the dirt and the leaves. So, we'll get started on getting the bows set up. Okay, we'll start with you guys. Get your bow fit.
Don't let go.
Do you? Don't let go of that string, but pull back so you can put your hand on your cheek. Okay, was it easy enough? Okay, let down easy. Okay, very good. Go ahead. Right on your cheek. Good enough? Okay. Whoever's going to hold it, please put it on your toe. And right there. Oh, that worked out. We got the pink one for the girls. Give it a try.
Set that on your toe. Get one.
Okay, that's easy enough. You ready?
We had a lot of older kids in this last group, so a lot of people said.
Okay, can you put your hand on your cheek? Pull that. A little pull that. Too tight, honey? No? Can you get all the way back to here? Can you pull it back and keep your hand like right there? Instead of right here? Right there. Okay, yeah. Too stiff? You can work with that? I mean, I can make it just a little lighter if you want. A little. We'll go 1 turn, and that way you're perfect. Okay?
My bow's pulled back tighter.
Okay.
I feel good. I feel good. I feel that's Marion.
Everybody bowed up?
Yeah, everybody's good.
Okay. And my name is Wade Lender. I'm also with the Wappo Peace Bowman, and I coach the Cardinal Archery.
This is Bob Ross.
I don't know if any of you even heard of them or not, but this sport archery is catching on huge all throughout, well, actually the world, throughout the world. These exact bows you're using, as of right now, yesterday afternoon and today, my team, my high school team is in Louisville, Kentucky, competing at the Nationals right now, today. using these exact same bows you're using. There's over 3 million kids competing with these bows all over the world. I guess where I'm going with this is this stuff can be a lot of fun, but make no mistake, it's not a toy. Okay, so we're going to treat them with respect.
Shooting, I like what we're doing. You can go back a little bit farther.
Shoot, get right up by your quiver, okay? So you stay in a straight line. Right up even with your quiver.
Archery? Anybody hit the targets? Sweet. So you guys know how to handle the bows then? Okay, well we're going to go over the equipment a little bit here, and then we'll go down and we'll shoot the bow fishing bows at the targets out here. We'll start off, my name's Billy Summers, and I'm from Team 4 Boys, and I am pro staff from AMS Bow Fishing, and I'm also the president of the Bow Fishing Association of Iowa. The Bow Fishing Association is just a group of bow fishing men and women that we get together, we have tournaments, and we do days like this, and just share stories on shooting fish. The equipment is a little bit different than your regular hunting bows. These are designed specifically for shooting fish. This is the AMS Swamp Thing, and the cams, that's what these are. They're designed where you can shoot this from 2 inches to full draw. On a hunting bow, you have to go to full draw to shoot it. If not, you'll damage it. These ones are designed for what we call snap shooting, but that real quick shot. Because sometimes them fish, they don't like to hang out, so you got to be fast. And then you guys notice this is the AMS bottle reel. It's a little bit different than your fishing pole reel. This is designed to let that line flow out freely when you shoot, and then after you shoot, you pull the trigger and you reel that line right back into the bottle. If you squeeze too hard when you go down here, it won't let you reel. If you don't squeeze hard enough, it won't pull the line in. So you got to find that happy balance in the middle to get that line to reel in. Another big difference in these bows is the arrows. You guys were just over there shooting archery, and you feel the arrows are real lightweight and they're hollow, so they fly real fast. Well, that wouldn't work for shooting fish. And fish start wrenching around and it would break them. These are solid fiberglass arrows. That fish goes crazy and it doesn't break. You did that with one of them over there and it would just splinter and crack. And you also see the point's a little different on these. That barb is what holds the fish. That is basically our fishing hook. You shoot the fish, that holds the fish on there, you bring it in, and you can just back that tip out a little bit, lets them go backwards, and you can pull it out of the fish. The other thing on here that's a lot different is the safety slide and stop. You guys see that on there? When we get down there and you go to knock this arrow, you always want to make sure that that's pointed upwards. If it's down, it'll hit the rest and it'll fly all crazy. So you want to make sure that's up. And this here is a safety slide, is what that's called. I've been shooting fish for a very long time, and in my opinion, this is the biggest advancement in bow fishing that there has ever been. It used to be you would just tie your line to the back of the arrow, they'd drill a hole in it, and it worked, but if that line ever got tangled up, that arrow comes flying back so fast that there's been reported cases, people are in the hospital getting that arrow tip dug out of them because it comes back and hits them. What this does is if that line gets tangled, it allows it to what we call dissipate the energy. It lets that energy go, it takes it away, so when it does snap back, it doesn't really have enough force to do any major damage. Now they are sharp points, so it might still poke you, but it's not going to come back with full speed. Like I said, I feel that's the biggest advancement. That safety is the biggest thing in bow fishing. Does anybody have any questions for me? Do I have any left-handed shooters? Okay. Okay, left-handed shooters are the green bow. Everybody else get even lines behind the red bows and listen to your instructors, and we can go down and shoot some targets.
Line 3.
We got a mouth on this one. We need to lose something. One to hold the arrow on. Yep. Hold back where you point this.
I've been a member 10 years. There's been no bylaws. They started them, then when that first group of guys left, it kind of like got pushed away. All these issues have come up over the last 6 years. I've been 7 years. This is the 7th year, the 2nd year president. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. All right, you guys have fun? Yeah. Think that that's something you can go do now by yourself? Or with supervision, but think you can shoot a fish?
Hit that thing about every time.
No.
him?
No.
Where's your confidence?
I even gave
Of
him a
course
hard
you
target.
can. Well, guys, anyway, there's a couple things I want to go over if you do get the opportunity to go out and shoot fish, whether it be with friends or with an adult or whoever. The first thing is ethics. Does anybody know what the definition of being ethical means? To me, the definition of ethical is doing the right thing even when you know you're not going to get caught. Does that make sense to anyone? That's doing what you know is right, even though you know that if you choose to do something wrong, nobody's there to punish you or nobody's there to catch you. That's being ethical. That's doing the right thing at all times because we know that's right, and that should make you feel good. The other thing is respect, and that's a big one. Being respectful of everything, not just people, but also the places and the fish themselves. We don't go and target fish that we know we can't shoot. We can only shoot rough fish. That means no catfish, no bass, no bluegill, no walleye, only rough fish. Carp, gar, the kind of the fish that we think of as the junk fish or the not so sought after fish. So that means if you're standing out on the riverbank by yourself and this big old catfish comes by, being respectful and being ethical, you're just going to watch it swim by. You're not going to shoot it just because you know nobody's there to tell you no. Does that make sense to all you guys? And then there's one thing above all else when it comes to bow fishing. Can somebody tell me what that is? Anyone? Nobody got a guess?
Safety.
All right, he's got it. Safety. Being safe. You guys, as much fun as we have and as much joy as we get out of this, sometimes we can overlook the fact that these are still considered a deadly weapon. I mean, there's even the ones down there, the lighter youth bows. If you was to accidentally let that arrow go at somebody, it is going to cause significant damage. So we have to be safe and we have to be ethical. Who here hit the target? All right. Okay, hand them out. Congratulations on hitting the target, guys. It's a DVD. It shows some cool stuff on there. Shooting sharks, shooting gators. Did you get them all 4 out? There's 4 of them.
Did you hit it? Did you hit it?
The 2 in the back. All right, guys. Well, I hope you had fun, and thanks for coming out today. Enjoy some lunch, and then enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
Say thank you.
Thanks.
You say thank you if you want. Lunch is provided.
Annette Whitrock with the Wapello County Conservation Board introduced the students to the atlatl. The atlatl is a very ancient tool that acts as a lever when coupled with a person's arm. One end of the atlatl has a spur that fits into the cupped end of the dart. The other end has a cradle or place to gently rest the dart. Sometimes a person's fingers can be used as the cradle, releasing it in mid-swing. A 5-ounce dart can have 200 times the power and hit as hard as an arrow shot from a 60-pound compound bow. Annette will now demonstrate the atlatl.
Put it in, aim at my target, just a quick shot. Here's what most of you are going to do, at least once. I want you to see the difference. You're going to come up and you're going to go. Don't worry, it happens, okay? Happens to everyone. So I'm done shooting, I'm just going to step back.
Demonstration of an atlatl.
Just to keep you from throwing this around and using it as a fake sword or something like that, when you step back, just lay that on the ground where you'll be throwing, okay? That way they won't get torn apart. And then of course I'll say, okay, make sure you're not going to hit somebody when you pull that out, okay? So that one's not too far into the ground, so I can pick that one up. Tips down, right? And then I'm just going to lay this on the ground. And with these targets, they're very cheap, okay? They're very light. If you get one in the target, you're just going to have to hold on to it when you pull it out, okay? And I'll just add that to the pile. And I'll do the same thing with the third one, right? And I'll be able to carry him back. Now, here's the important part. Please listen to all the instructions before you decide to try to follow them. You ready for them? Okay, so we have 11 people. That means I need 5 partners, and 1 person will be on their own. I need you to a partner, not 2 partners, a partner. It's just someone that's going to be in your line. They're going to shoot after you. You're going to shoot to the same spot. Wow. That's how we win.
They're using the atlatl, a very old style of weapon.
Oh. Not for distance, accuracy.
I tried.
Come on. Snap it right through.
It's got a good arm.
You're getting closer.
Is that Josh or something?
Do you have to aim them downward or upward, or how do you, what's the best way to aim?
Oh, yeah! Yeah, like that.
Do that again.
Is that Josh or Sam?
Joshua.
Follow through it.
Hand on that handle. There you go.
Get it.
This end first. Aim it. Straighten your arm out. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Don't play with the tool.
Good.
There you go. Sometimes the practice comes on. There you go. Follow straight. Got follow through. Plus, when you step with this foot. Don't
There you
go
go.
back, right?
No.
Seriously? Get a grip on it.
Yeah.
I had some kids throw all the way out to the target.
Really? Get over.
Oh wow.
My other arrow. Angel. Very consistent.
I know he is.
Follow through.
Bobby, you've already done all of them?
You want a pitch here, not a belly. I mean, they've been heckling me all day.
Better, Mom. Now look what you did.
You!
My aim's off a little bit.
Say hello.
Okay, I'm Charlie Turrell, Steve Sexton, Matt Sexton,
Hey, y'all.
and Freddie Gilbert. We're all board members at the local pheasant chapter, Pheasants Forever chapter. And kind of the reason we're here today is to kind of show you some things that we represent, and to show you the dogs there. We'll run a little pointing expedition out here in front of you in a little bit. And so we've got a few things to show you and tell you about first. You notice that in our magazine that you get quarterly, that we got monarch butterflies. If you've been hearing the news, and hopefully they tell you something about it in school. And and these flower deals here, they're not just, those are food plots, like this magazine in front of me. Look at this. So not all about just pheasants. We furnish food plots like this, and like those in there, to environmental expedition, like these two here, at different times of the year. These were to implement and help feed the pheasant and quail and other game. But we also very much environmentally prone for our bees and our butterflies and so forth. It's not just for hunting. Another thing that we're involved in pretty dramatically, and us four here, and the one that's not here with us this minute, we do quite a bit. Being as I was your road superintendent for quite a few years, I happen to be affiliated with quite a few farmers in the north and the east part of the county that do a lot of grain farming, and we've been encouraging them, and some of them have really adapted this, to put what we call buffer strips down on your waterways, creeks, fence roads. And what that does is not only create us a natural habitat for the pheasants and quail and other animals, birds, but it also creates a filter for your water supply. So all the herbicides and insecticides that they put on your field have trouble getting into the water supply that you drink. So that makes it a lot safer, okay, for yourself. So that's just some of the things that we do. Also, this local chapter had bought, I don't know how many acres. Do you, Fred?
Well, the local chapter, I can tell you, in the state around 180,000 acres.
180,000 acres in the state. We have, just some of them I can tell you about, for upland bird hunting especially. The DeVoe Conservation Area north of town on 149, north of the air base. Down here by Eldon, the Brown property down there we bought many years ago. The last member, he's going to go to the field. You better hustle. And so I turn around and you might catch him. He'll probably go on point here in a minute. He's hunting. No collar, no nothing. Jake, smoke!
We'll get him, Charlie.
No, I don't want him killing the bird. He found it. The flush is going to get away. But
This
anyhow,
dog here is a pup.
let's go ahead and
He's
tell
not
about
showing
that.
restraint.
I've had these, he's a yearling and so forth, but he's had one season under his belt last year and he hunts very well. He retrieves his birds really good. A lot better than they do in these pen-raised quails. Don't smell it too good. But so forth and so on. But how many of you kids got bird dogs? Nobody? Okay. They're pointing dogs and they're flushing dogs. Flushing dog would look like a lab, golden retriever, on and on and on. These are pointing dogs like pointer. These are German short hairs. There's pointing dogs, there's setters, so forth like this. Okay, I prefer to have these. I've always enjoyed these pretty well. He's the 5th generation of my males. He'd be the 6th. He's a direct descendant, and he's a half descendant. His mother is his mother, but the fathers were not the same. His father was not one. His father was a very distant cousin, and I got him give back to me by a man that had cancer, and he accidentally bred the mother. She was old, and she had one pup, and I saved her. Anyway, make a long story short, I train my own birds, always have, or my own dogs, and always have, and it's kind of complicated. We can't go into all the details here in our short little time together, but like any dog you get, whether it's a bird dog or it's a house dog or whatever, one of the first things you want to do is to teach this dog how to love you and devote it to you. How do you do that? Okay, well, first of all, you never hit your dog, ever. Why don't you come on and sit down? Okay? I don't want you to. And so to do that, get your dog where it comes to you on command, not once in a while, but every time. If you're training a bird dog, he has to mind you, or you're wasting your time, and you're going to be upset with yourself all the time and your dog. Okay, if you just follow those small little repetition and simple ideas with it, it'll work out great. The best way to learn how is talk to someone like myself when you have more time. It's real simple, just repetition. Keep your hands to yourself. I've had a couple of guys many years ago that when I was involved in dog trial, and they thought that the minute you had a dog that misbehaved, it was usually their fault. That they ought to beat the heck out of the dog, and I'll tell you, beat the heck out of the man. And forget the man and raise the dog. That dog will perform for you dramatically and please you and wants to if you just spend a little bit of time with it to help big time pheasants. These are wild birds. We never we didn't go pen raising and so forth. He's done it for years. Fred here has a wonderful German short hair that'd be a cousin to him. He'd be really distant to that dog. But Fred's dog here is how old then?
He'll be 9.
He's 9 years old. Okay.
He had surgery last week, so I couldn't bring him.
His father is one of my pups, so he'd be
half brother to him. His dog's father. And a lot older. He's probably about done. I bet Riley's dog's about done for him. He'd be 11 or 12. Starting to warm up in the sun, so it's going to take a toll on them pretty fast. They don't do well in the heat. Hey. Yep. Now, if we're out wild bird hunting, they won't be moving this slow. He'll be flat picking up the mail and going. But he knows what's been going on and where the birds have been. And you got one in there again?
Yep.
Oh. Whoa.
Whoa.
Talk to him.
Whoa.
Whoa, Jakey.
Quail are just a small game bird, small upland bird.
I should have one. One thing.
Pull. Pull. Pull.
Doing a little nature here, hike here with the soil conservation.
One time at school we took we did a project here. It was awesome.
We came out here on this trail.
Yeah, we stopped right there and we had to go find our hidden treasure, and whoever found their treasure first and brought it back got to keep their treasure.
We're going to learn a little bit of plant ID. I want everybody to breathe out and breathe in through your nose. Breathe out, in through your nose. You guys smell something sweet? Smell flowery? There's two flowering shrubs right here. They're actually not native to the United States. One of them is the Russian olive, and the other one is the Tapparian honeysuckle. It flowers, it looks really lovely, and then after the flowers fall off, they fruit. We thought for a long time that these were good for the environment because they provided a nesting material for birds or a place where animals can hide, and it also provided food. They have this nice lush green leaves that they keep throughout most of the year. It's the first thing to green up in the spring and the last thing to lose its leaves in the fall. What happens is birds will come in and they'll eat those red berries and then they fly away. Well, when a bird flies away with a belly full of berries, what do you think happens? Anybody know? Yep, it poops, and all those seeds go out into the poop and into the dirt, and a new honeysuckle flowers and blooms. So the problem we have with honeysuckle is it doesn't stay where we plant it. The secondary issue we have with honeysuckle is not only does it be very lush and large, it doesn't allow light to penetrate underneath, so it actually causes erosion, and Ryan's going to explain a little bit about why that's a problem.
You see over here, we've got lots of grasses and sedges, lush green plants. How many plants do you see underneath here? Not very many.
One.
Got some poison ivy, not a lot of grass. All these shrubs shade out all of those plants, our native plants, so they no longer grow. You don't have the flowers, the leaves, you don't have new trees growing up. So as soon as these trees die, there'll be no trees left to replace them. We've also got this bare soil exposed. So when it rains, it washes away, we get erosion. It all ends up in our streams and rivers, and we're left with bad soil here, where nothing else wants to grow. So that causes a lot of problems. That's why we...
Yeah? It is a mint, exactly right. Creeping Charlie is in the mint family.
It's really aromatic and smells nice. At least I think it smells nice. If you plant it around your gardens or around your dog kennels, it can help kind of make things smell a little nicer every time you brush against it. It releases that aromatic oil. Also, deer will not eat it, so it's kind of nice to have around because it does have really pretty flowers on it.
This is called burdock. It does not taste good to eat. Some people actually mistake it for rhubarb and try to make a pie out of it. And it's very disappointing. It is a native plant.
It's called murdoch?
Burdock.
Burdock.
Actually, when it fruits, it gets these little kind of burrs on them. Kind of like cucumber's, only not as sharp.
Oh. Like a turkey spur.
This is poison ivy. This is one you do not want to touch. It often gets mistaken for Virginia wild creeper, which is this one. How is this one different from poison ivy? Yes.
It has like more of these, like more of those sharp things.
It does. It has more kind of serrations. How many leaves are on here?
5 on it.
Yes. Virginia creeper has 5, and poison ivy will always have 3. That's another good way to tell them apart.
Now these are not the buds, or these are not the fruit. These are buds rather. These will flower white. Then they'll turn into fruits. The fruit of wild grape is really tart, but it's very juicy. So you can add sugar to it, pasteurize it by boiling it very slightly, and it can make a really, really fantastic grape juice. I know some people have made wine from it. I've never had it, but the leaves are edible, and so are the tendrils. They taste kind of like a sweet tart. You guys are the second to last class we've had. I think people have pretty much eaten it back like goats. So you're welcome to look around on it for a minute to see if there's anything you want to try to nibble on.
I'll try to nibble on this.
Otherwise, we'll go to the next one.
What about that?
Those aren't as pretty. The leaves will be
Mustard.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So
This
if
is
anyone wants
good.
to try these leaves, they can.
It tastes like an onion or a chive.
It's
There's animals out in the wild that make food for us. These are honeybees. Now these are cultivated or domesticated honeybees. So they were raised by people in a controlled environment. They're put into huts and brought out here so they can go out and pollinate, collect nectar, and make honey. Bees apiary science, or beekeeping, is one of the longest running types of farming that we've ever had, actually. And I think the first domesticated animal was the chicken, and probably shortly after that I think it was the bee. We do have native bees. They're not honeybees. They're a lot thinner and a lot smaller, but they still do create honey and nectar, and collect nectar. But we have other things that do.
An otter skull.
specialized habitat. They live around water. They have kind of a special diet, fish and mussels. They don't eat plants. So the opposite of a specialist would be a generalist. Generalists live in all sorts of habitats. They often eat all sorts of different things, maybe berries, other plants, animals, junk. So a good example of a generalist would be a raccoon. Keep walking.
Generalist.
What do you think this might eat?
Raccoon.
You're right, it's a raccoon. So these guys will eat just about anything. These guys actually weren't very common a couple hundred years ago because they didn't have a lot to eat around here. They didn't have very good habitat for them. They have actually become much more common now that people are around. They live in our towns and cities and they eat our junk. We've created a lot of habitat for them. So since this is a generalist and it eats all sorts of stuff, how do you think it does with habitat change compared to an otter? Better or worse?
Better.
Better. An otter has to struggle because if it loses some of its habitat, it can't go anywhere else. A generalist will just adapt and
find a new home somewhere else and live off of whatever else it eats.
Rip the head off.
So you can touch them, but just be careful of them. This one is from my left hand. Is from a blue racer, and the other one is from a bull snake. So these skins are made out of keratin. It's the same sort of material that your fingernails and your hair is made out of. So these skins,
See the eyes in it?
see the head? Kind of see they even have skin over their eyes. Kind of looks like contact lenses.
The eyes right there.
And when a snake sheds, it all comes off in one piece. And they start right at the head and they peel it off kind of like a sock. So this skin is actually inside out now. This is a prairie ringneck snake. You see a little ring around his neck?
Can you hold it?
Can't hold it, but you can touch
Will
it.
it bite?
This snake doesn't bite. They're too small.
Ooh, that's tiny. Does it bite its prey?
It's not. It does bite its prey, but its prey is bugs and slugs and maybe baby fresh newborn mice. So these guys are harmless.
It's fun.
This is actually
Asked, but Ryan's going to tell you a little bit about this native species to Iowa. It's often confused with another snake that's a lot more dangerous.
What's his name? Where'd you find it?
hear that?
Hear that buzz?
He wants me to think he's a rattlesnake.
It's I know what it is. What is that?
Is he making the buzz out of his mouth?
He makes it with his tail. He actually rattles his tail against the leaves.
Wait, is that a rattlesnake?
It is not a rattlesnake.
No, it's often
Rattlesnakes have a kind of a slit eye, kind of like a cat. This guy has a round pupil. Rattlesnakes have kind of a triangular head, and they will have a rattle on their tail.
And the thing
See, his tail is not rattled, it's just straight. This is a fox snake. They are a constrictor.
Does it
So they
bite?
squeeze their prey. They can bite. They do have teeth.
Does it hurt when they bite?
If they bite, it startles you more than it hurts. It's kind of like a needle prick.
It's a lot worse for
And
the snake.
can bleed a little bit, but it could hurt the snake because he could break a tooth, and then he may not be able to feed.
It's just like trying to wrap around your arm.
Yep.
He's just trying to get away. He's
Squeeze.
tired.
He wants to go get away. He's been trying to reach for the trees.
Wait, when are you gonna let him go?
After we're done.
We got one more group, and then we're gonna go let him go. Back where we found him.
Where'd you find him?
We found him a couple miles away in a wildlife area. And you always,
He's
if
trying
you
to go
ever,
in your back pocket.
you shouldn't collect snakes, but if you ever have one that you do collect, you should let it go where you found it. If you don't, they will be lost, and they won't know where to hibernate in the winter, and they'll probably die.
Can't you like have like pet snakes and stuff that you get at a pet store or
You can
something?
buy them at a pet store, but you should not collect them in the wild. Most of our snakes in Iowa are protected. It's illegal to collect them.
And if you're buying snakes from pet stores, make sure they're captive bred and not taken from the wild. Captive bred animals are a lot healthier. They're not full of worms or parasites. And captive bred animals are usually a lot more docile. Wild caught animals are usually much more mean.
This guy has been very cooperative today.
I want to go spotty.
So what do we call this guy?
Fox snake.
Fox snake. And he gets confused with the timber rattlesnake a lot. Unfortunately, people will run them over with cars or bash them with a shovel. And it's just a sad case of mistaken identity. These guys are not harmful to people at all. They're actually very beneficial because they eat. He's vibrating again. You doing that thing?
Bye, Spotty. Don't they just like pound their tail on the ground to make it sound?
Yep, you can hear it. A little vibration. He gets frustrated. He wants us to. He's done for the day. So this guy looks like a venomous snake, but it's not. It is not a timber rattlesnake. They're actually beneficial to us because they eat what?
Mice?
Yep, exactly. They eat mice. Mice carry diseases like Ebola, the plague, hantavirus, They destroy wiring and things in our home. So having fox snakes around your property is really, really beneficial. So don't kill them. Just let them do their thing. You may not want them in your house, but if they do somehow get in your house because they get confused, just take them out and put them in the back part of the yard and they'll be just fine. Yeah. Oh.
Somebody brought a snake down the trail looking for us.
Oh. I don't know where they went.
Took the long route.
Took their long route. So we have a lot of different species of mussels here. They've been collected all over, mostly in this area because Ryan and I have been out collecting them. There are a lot of different shapes and a little different sizes. Some of them are very rare, some very common. Do you have a plain pocketbook in here?
No, I do not.
Oh. Well, this is a, I'll go back, right? So this is a more common species than, let's say, a butterfly. This is a less common one. You guys can pass them around. This one's pretty obvious why it's called pimpleback.
Oh my.
Holy fudge!
Hey Ryan, bring it over here.
Can we touch it?
Is that a blue racer?
Can we touch it?
Yeah, you can touch the back end.
Is that a blue racer?
This is a blue racer. Black rat.
I thought a black rat snake too. That's what I thought. I was down bow fishing and
I thought you were going to bring a little brown snake.
no, I caught one of those this morning. No, it was up in the trees.
Scale.
Thorn bush, and I'm trying to reach my hand up around its neck and grab it.
It sure looks blue.
What type is it again?
Yeah.
Blue
They're
belly.
also called a yellow belly racer.
Oh.
This one doesn't show much. Some of them can get a really yellow belly.
This is a boy,
More out in
right?
western Iowa.
Is this a boy?
It was a little better. You can tell by the shape of the tail from the cloaca there on.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So is that where the legs fell off?
Is it a boy or a girl? How cool is it? I'll take a picture of it.
I'm not very good at telling.
I'll take a picture of it. It's a boy. I'll take a picture of it.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Now there's one about 2 foot longer. I was trying to catch. I look in the water, and there it goes over the color.
You don't usually see these guys in water either.
Unless they get
They're
freaked
more
out.
of a prairie, open area type snake.
They might have gotten chased out by all the noise and activity. Well, thanks for sharing.
Can I touch its head?
Nope.
No,
Darn it.
he could bite.
They do have teeth.
Wait, can we put a
Pretty
stick
good
up
looking.
it? I
He
want to
must have
see.
shed
I want to see
recently.
its teeth.
You got a good picture?
Yeah, well, here, let me get another one.
The kids want to step back a little bit so she can get a picture.
It's probably a boy. There's spurs on the back. Alright, we're good.
Where's the spur? Dirty John.
Didn't say nothing to the woods. I better see you stop and point out some of that stuff.
I need 3 people, 3 stations, 3 people to start with this round. Only 3 people.
You gonna do it, Josh?
Yeah, I got to.
Oh, were you?
Don't matter, just as long as we get 3 people. How many of you know where the safety is on this gun's color? How many of you know where it's located? Those that do not know, the safety on these is right here by the trigger. Push this little button out, you see red, it is ready to fire. If you do not see red, it is on safety. Right now they're all on safety. So 3, 2 is station, please.
Okay, Josh, we need to get up.
Say thank you a little louder. I didn't quite hear that.